everyone, Crafting Vicky here with you, and I'm doing it just this way, the camera, because it's going to be super fast. I did the challenge from my hubby, and it gave me some ideas, and I want to make a journal to put in this box that was given to me by a colleague. So I just wanted to share with you how I was gonna do the box, because I will be sharing with you guys the journal, but I'm going to be doing the journal from my I can't do two things at once. I'm going to be sharing the journal from my laundry room instead of the garage, but the messy stuff I always do in the garage. So I sanded it down, and I'm going to basically put a coat of gesso on it. And I'm thinking black. And of course my black gesso was way far. So let's open this thing up. This thing is messy. And just gonna gesso it, and then for the cap itself, I think I'm gonna leave it black, but for the box, I'm probably gonna paint it in different colors. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Either that, or I'm gonna or I might decide to put something else on top. I don't know, but I obviously don't want it to show that it's a gum thing. So that cover is kind of useful right now, because it's allowing me to have coverage without putting it on exactly like this. Was what I wanted to avoid. And there's a crack here, which is really annoying. Okay, and I want to do the bottom part as well. And I'm getting my hands dirty in the process. So, like this. And like that. So now I'm gonna just let it dry, and I will be back to share with you what I do for the box as well as for the journal. It's gonna be I'm gonna put the video all together, and this obviously is also one of my 100 things challenge. I'm not sharing everything with you guys in video, because it would take way too long and way too many days, but yeah, so that's it. Bye everyone, see you soon. Okay, so I'm back with my box that's now black, and it's very funny because the cover had a little area that wasn't painted on, and I heated it up to speed up the drying process, and it started smelling like mint gum. It was very, very funny. Okay, so I'm thinking of putting just some random paint on this, and just, you know, painting this up in a random way, because it's not, I don't want it to be a specific color. I just need it to be covered in some sort of way, and I'd like it to be colorful so that it fits with the journal that I'm going to be putting inside it. So that's one part of it done. So let's choose some other random happy colors. And I'm pulling from my stash of paints. Put a bit of yellow. seems to be happy for me. Because I just basically don't want the box to look like it was a gum thing. I want it special. And something that, you know, you can get from the store. Oops, that one hasn't been opened yet. Whoa, that was way too much. Way too much. Okay, so I'm thinking that's enough with this. Now I need to use up that paint because I can't just let it be. And I still have pages in this book that I'm supposed to use for my font, and that I'm thinking I'm going to finish any day, and I never do. So let's just use up that paint, that leftover paint in there. Because I just want, the last thing I want to do with that box is just to add some, I'm thinking it'd be nice if I do splatters. I don't know why. It just calls for splatters to me. Okay, so we got that, got this, got my brush for splatters. So I'm just gonna pull up a bit of white paint, and I tried using my toothbrush recently, and that was a disaster. So I'm just gonna go with the tool that I purchased, which is clearly more effective than trying to use a toothbrush in my case. And just do this again. Okay, so this is what it's looking like, and I'm really loving this. So yeah, I'm really loving this. So I'm gonna let it dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna do my I'm gonna do the journal that goes in it, and once this box is dried, I will put Liquitex on it to protect it, because I don't want it to flake away, and that's it. It should be ready to go. And I'm thinking this makes, I just want to remove the white paint from this brush, because I really suck at emptying out my other brushes in proper time. I should clean it off more often, but I end up most of the time doing it once a week. But they're really inexpensive brushes, so I don't really care. But that one is Tim Holtz, and I really do care for that one. Okay, so I'm letting this dry. I'm taking the measurements, and I will see you with the journaling part of it. Okay, so I'm here to do the little journal that's going to go in the little box. I've pulled out some papers that I think would go well with this cardstock. I'm thinking this cardstock would make a good background for the journal itself, and it's going to be one of the accordion style journals. And I was hoping to use this, which would have been perfect, but I think it's a bit small once it's folded, and this one is wider, so I'm actually going to use this up. And I've taken my measurements, and the journal has to be 1/2 inch wide, and the maximum is 3 inches the other way. So I'm thinking I'm going to do smaller That's impossible, 3 inches. That's totally impossible. So probably the only part that I need to do is the 1.5, because I probably took the full length of the box, because 3 inches is about the size of the box. So I really suck at this. Okay, so knowing this, now I'm gonna do it at 1.25, because I want to make sure that it really fits in the box. I don't want to have issues. Well, actually, I could do 1.75, let's say. Whoops. No, I said 1.5, so it has to be 1.25. Oh my god, guys. I have a glass of wine. That's what happens. It's nighttime, and I'm just relaxing and trying to do this so that I'm having fun and I'm making something and I get something to send out to a friend. Okay, so actually it's not that I want to use right now, it's this. And I'm thinking it's gonna fit. Hoping it's gonna fit. Yes, it fits. Okay, so this is going to be the strip that's going to be our journal. Yeah, it's going to be tiny. I'm thinking I'm going to glue stuff on it and then fold it, because it's going to be a lot easier to glue when it's like this than when it's all finished. And like I said, I want to Frankenstein these, so I'm just going to tear some of these. These are scraps that I've had in my stash like forever and that I really want to use up. So I'm thinking that this is a great way of using them up. And they're bright and cheerful, and that's the whole point of this. And so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully this is going to be a good idea. Otherwise, obviously, I'm not going to share the video with you guys. No, but seriously. I'm hoping that this is gonna be a good thing. We shall see, I guess. So I'm gonna put in some of my glue here, and then I'm really using up my glue recently, and I guess I've used up most of this one because I'm at the edge where there's no more. Ay. Okay, so I need an actual BB wipe. This is an old one from a previous project. So my glue stick, unless I went into it, is done. I'm very sad. I really love this one. So I'm going to have to get some more of this when I have a chance. And this is something that we can technically buy while we're doing the 100 Things Challenge. But at the same time, I do have a lot of glue that I'm supposed to use. So I might try using it. And if it's not good glue, then I'll just chuck it away and then buy some new one. But at least I'll have tried it and not have it in my stash for something that actually doesn't really work. Which is something I find that we do a lot of, is we keep stuff, but some of it is just not good anymore, or just doesn't do the job anymore for us. And it's still difficult to throw it away. And I don't understand why we do this. But we really shouldn't, but we still do. At least I do. I shouldn't be generalizing, because not everybody's like me. And I'm sure you guys are much better at this than I am. But if you're not, please do let me know, because I won't feel so alone in my quest of using stuff that I have. this. So this one kind of looks like that one, but it's still a different paper you saw. So I'm still using it together. It's the same type of pattern, and I think it fits together. I still have no clue what I'm going to put on top of this, because I will need to put some sort of something on top of this. And I'm hoping I'm going to find some die cuts or stamp or some sort of something that I can put on this. The dilemmas, the hard work. Okay. So, like that. When you put the green, it does show that it's different from this, but when you put it like this, not so much, I guess. But anyway, it is what it is. Even if I do show some of the yellow, it wouldn't be that much of a deal, because basically it is a different color and it's kind of nice. I'm missing some of the... Well, I've got a bit here I could put here. The goal is to use up as much as possible of these strips and hopefully be able to throw them away afterwards. Like, really. I don't know, like, scraps just multiply like you wouldn't believe. Even if I use them up, they still multiply. I don't remember which subby, but somebody mentioned that she thought they were coming alive during the nighttime and just making babies. And I think that might be right. It's like my die cuts. Somehow, I had a big box of them. And I've been using them like crazy. Like, really using them. And somehow, every time I close off that box, there seems to be more in it and harder to close than ever. So I don't get this. I don't understand. I really don't understand what's going on with my box of die cuts, because I'm working so hard in using them up. So why is it that it's not showing? I don't know. Either because I'm not packing them exactly the way they were packed, and they were packed much tighter, and maybe that's why. That's what I'm you know, thinking in my head and trying and hoping that it's the case, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. And I haven't been adding anything to that box. I've just been using it up. So God knows. So if you have suggestions, let me know in the description box, not in the comments down below. Oh my god. I'm putting paper everywhere. Okay, so we've got one side that's done. Let's do the other side. I kind of like this. It's pretty. And it's unique. And so let's do the other side. And I don't want straight edge, which is why I'm doing it this way. I really don't like straight edge and stuff like this. I find that it's much nicer if they're like whatever. Only thing is, you need to have a bit of glue on the edge of the other paper for it to stick to it. Makes it a bit more complicated. But that's okay. If I'm using up my stash, it's all good. So this here, and then got oops, not that one. This one. And I can use I can use this one. And my fingers are getting all messed up. Okay, and then I'm missing some of this paper. And I need some more of this. And I still have big chunks, so I doubt that I'll be able to chuck it away with a clear conscience. I've got a feeling I'll feel guilty throwing it away. I don't know. I just feel guilty throwing away stuff that I could be using. No matter how small it is. Which is crazy. I mean, it makes no sense. But at the same time, it just is what it is. I'm still feeling guilty about it. So, yeah. And I know this is something that I've talked about a lot in previous videos. So this is not a new subject. But it doesn't make it less painful. Maybe I should just include this with the... Oh, that is the idea. I'll just include the leftover pieces with the journal. Why didn't I think of that before? That is brilliant. That is exactly what I need to do in order to not feel guilty and in using up those leftover pieces so that I don't see them anymore. Because obviously there's still leftover pieces. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to include them to the person to include them with the journal. So whoever gets this little journal is getting those leftover pieces. That is brilliant. I'm feeling so much better. So there we go. A little package all ready to go. And maybe I'm thinking I should just include this in one of those envelopes. This way I'm using one of my envelopes that I'm not using otherwise. There we go. Talk about recycling. So I'll just put these in here and they'll be included that way. Yay me! I'm very proud of myself right now, as you can tell. Now there'll be somebody else's responsibility. And they can feel guilty about checking them up. Or not. because I'm sure there must be people that are much better at doing this than I am, and that just don't feel guilty even about throwing stuff up like this. Okay, so we've got the little journal, and I really love the paper together. I think it's super cute. Now let's figure out, this is 8.5. And at this point I can't really do any math. So if I do one, if I was to do this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting pretty much like on my fingers. It'd be close enough. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. The last little flap won't be totally perfect, but that's still okay with me. Okay, and then this, and then this. I've been using my scoreboard like crazy recently, and as you can tell, I suck at it. Usually I don't have that much issues, but there's a lot of paper on here, so that's not helping me. Okay, so I've got my other bone folder. I'm just gonna fold this up and make it fold properly. That's the thing, I could have done 3 inches down. Oh my god. This would have been much better. Oh man, oh man, oh man. That's why the 3 inches was important. Yeah, you can start laughing, guys. It's okay. I permit you. So, I'll be doing 2 little albums, I guess. One that's just going to be blank, and one that's going to have stuff on it. And this one is just going to go as an extra. Okay, so now those extra bits that I thought I was going to have are not going to be extras anymore. That's why it was important to have that other measurement. How did I forget about that? I can't tell you guys. I don't know. It's like when I do my cards and I do them upside down. Why do I do that? I don't know. I usually figure it out by the end, but then obviously it's a bit too late. You know what? I might actually need more papers than what I had pulled out. That'd be kind of cool. So that accident might be I don't mind some of the yellows showing. Okay, so I need more variety of paper. Yay me for messing this up. So I'm gonna get to use up more papers from my stash. And you just need to figure out which ones. So yeah, guys, I'm sharing with you guys as I'm doing this, and sharing the mistakes as well as the good things. So you get to see that I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But I do admit that sometimes we feel that whatever we're seeing is just perfect because they're just making it amazing. But in reality, most of the time, people take, you know, it's not perfect either, and it takes them a long time to perfect whatever they're doing. At least that's what I'm hoping it is, and it's not just me taking forever to understand something. So I really love when the YouTubers that I like share their stuff and just, you know, share the success, but as well as their misses, so that I don't feel like I'm just a failure of not getting the whole thing, you know? Yeah. Hope that made sense. It must have. I'm hoping. At least one thing you can't say is that I'm fake. I really do share everything. So, yeah. And if you don't want to see it, it's fine. You can go and watch other YouTubers. I mean, there's so many talented people out there, and I'm always amazed that you guys keep coming back for more of my stuff. It's just I really appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted, that's for sure. Okay, so I had to pause 2 seconds because my son was sharing with his dad a new song that he really loves, but obviously because of copyrights and stuff, it's not supposed to play on my channel. So yeah, I had to stop and tell them to stop that. Almost through one side. Like that. Haven't used this one. And now that I've pulled up extra papers, I'm probably going to have extras of those new papers, and that's fine. They're going to go in the envelope with the journal, like my original thought was. And this way, I get more scraps out of my bin. Yay me! I'm pretty happy with my mistake, and actually, in this case, it turned out quite good for myself. Okay, so one side done. And because it's bigger, it's easier to put bigger strips on it than with the other one. I much prefer this side. It's going to be, this size is going to be a lot easier to embellish. So that's a really good thing that I realized this. Okay, so this side is done. Let's glue on the next side. So I have all of these pieces already done. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this piece. I'm hoping I'm in frame. Probably not. Sorry guys if I'm not. That's what happens when I put you guys closer to me, so you see better what I do when I am in frame. The rest of the time you don't see anything. It's not easy when you're getting excited about what you're doing. You tend to forget about checking whether or not you're in frame. Or so yeah, I'm sorry in advance for doing this to you guys. Hopefully you'll forgive me. But this was actually a graduation paper for a card that I did for my oldest, so it must have been quite a few years back, like really a lot of years back. Telling you, that stash didn't build itself in one day, and I've already diminished it quite a lot because I've actually gotten it down to one bin, whereas before it was multiple bins. So already I should be happy with that, but I really want it down to like nothing, which is probably impossible because as we speak I continue making more scraps. But after doing so much to use up my scrap, honestly, I'm very much more conscious when I start a project of what I'm going to be using on it and trying to use up as much as possible so that I don't get to have all those scraps as I used to. So that has changed in my life, because before I wasn't so concerned about all the scraps, but then I ended up with a ton of them. So yeah, there was a good something that came out of that. That's the last piece of that one. And I have no more of this one. I'll just use a bit more. Put this. That. This here. Oh, I'm doing so good. Quite happy with myself. I'd like to do the Frankenstein paper with actually sewing it. So that's on my to-do list. There's so much on my to-do list, it's not even funny. I'm just not getting down to it, I guess, because like I said, there's just so much. Okay, so I've done it, And this is going into the envelope, along with this little thing, this little journal, which never made it to the actual place it was supposed to go to. Okay, so let's just trim this off. And this off. Alright, so that's all trimmed off. Yeah, it's done. Now I just need to do the same thing I did with the other one. It's a bit sticky though. So I'm just gonna wipe it down a bit. I really love how it turned out, like really. And the added paper is just perfect. Alright, so we're 8.5 and we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here. Am I right? No. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's really this one is the important one. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one here, and it's really hard because the paper is so thick. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just at least if I have a crease, it kind of helps me in the folding process, even if it's not that easy. So this and this and this, and then whoa, this. Somehow something went awry. Okay, it's all good. It fits pretty much together. Let's just measure this. Hopefully I'm good. And I'm under the 1/2, I believe. Yeah, I'm just under. So I'm sure I can fit it in. And I'm under the 3. And I'm under the 3.25. So that's fine. I wasn't worried about the size of that box. It was more the rest of it. Okay, so now we've got a little journal to work with and to embellish. So here we go. And it's all kind of gooey still. So hopefully while I'm putting stuff on it, it's going to dry and it won't stick together. Now, this is the box of die cut that never seems to end, and that is like forever and ever expanding. Okay, so I need to have small things that can actually fit in, like right there. So that would be one of them, but it's pretty much the same color scheme, so that's a bit so this one be perfect. That's too big. That's too big. The date doesn't really pertain. That's too big. So that's the thing, it's not that easy to find embellishments that are gonna fit into such a small journal. This would fit. I'm really telling you guys, I'm trying to use up as much as possible. I could use the U like this way, so that will work. And maybe I can use some banners, because I never know how to use those. So that would be pretty, maybe. And then this image on top could be something to do. I don't like the fact that it's upside down. The star would fit. Oh, the time probably fits. Barely, but it does. The stamp would fit. That would be pretty on the front. Am I in frame? I'm not in frame. Ay. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you up a bit, just because I'm not in frame and there's no way I can bring you in frame. So sweet would be perfect. These would not fit. This could fit. Love you could fit. This could fit. Telling you guys, I'm trying to be creative and using up that stash. And you can see, like, I use up stuff, but it keeps on building up. And when I put this back in, it's gonna look even bigger, which I don't get, but it just is. So this could fit maybe. This wouldn't fit, too big. Number 1 would fit. And so this journal is not gonna, it's not gonna be like a special message other than the one about, you know, you and me, or, you know, that sort of thing. The rest is gonna be pretty much glued in pieces, but I still think it's kind of fun to send that off to somebody. I mean, at least I'm hoping that they're gonna find it fun. It's too big. So many big pieces, so many small ones. So not many small ones, I should say. The end would fit. What about in here? Let's have smaller pieces in here. Yeah, that would fit. And 75 cents. I saw some hearts in here, which would be the perfect time to use some of those little pieces. I've got a little clock here. So I'm really trying, guys, to use up as much as possible of all the small pieces that I have and I've had forever. Pretty sure I had other arts in there. But this small pieces. Pretty sure I've pulled one out, but it doesn't matter. can do a layered effect, that's what I would really like to do. Okay, so I'm going to put these back. And this is what I mean, guys. Like, I've pulled out all of these, and still, when I'm putting these back in, I can hardly do so. So clearly, I mean, they're multiplying while I'm taking them out. Like, really. It's like impossible for me to use them all. And believe me, like, I love them. Like, love using these things. And I'm so happy I've got them, but at the same time, like, I'd like to see my stash diminishing and not just like, it doesn't even show. Okay, so I've got all of these different pieces. I really like that one. I'm thinking that it'd be cute with maybe something like this. So some black to make it pop. Can you see me? Oh my god, it just won't stick. Okay, so here, and then put this on top here. So that's one done. Now, this one, it's such a busy background. That's the part that's difficult. Okay, so this is not, I thought it was going to be adhesive, but it's not. So oh well. So that's that. This would be pretty with this. So I'm just kind of putting whatever I've got in here somewhere. And trying to layer some stuff together. So like that. I kind of like this. You are loved. So it's going to go with this. Okay. And then kind of like that. So this is what it's going to look like when it's closed. And then on this side, my happy place could be alone. It could be alone on its own. This could be alone as well. Yeeps! Now I have so many little pieces out and I do not want to put them back, so I'll probably use them in another make. I don't know what. Because I'm not putting those back. So maybe in my small CU journal I can find a way of using these up. Because like I said, I'm not putting these back into my stash. What if I put the star and then I put number 1? Okay, so like that, and then I'm just going to put this one on top of this because I just think it fits. And I guess the other ones are going to have to go back to my stash for some other time. Well, maybe this one I can fit there. Okay, so this is my little album, and then to close this off I want to use some of this lace that I have, and I've had it in my stash for a while, and so actually I should open up this way. So I'm going to go like this and just be tied like that. So that's my little booklet that's going to go into my box. Hope you've liked this video. Hope you laughed along with the mistakes that I made. And looking forward to reading your comments and what you thought about this project. Bye everyone.